Hey everyone, Adam here. So I'm just going to talk to you about the new table blocks we now offer in Create for you to use on your website. So when editing a page, to locate the blocks, if you click the Add Block button in the lower left to bring out the block selector, and in the Blocks That Include section, you should now see a table option just here. So if you click the table, and this will display the table blocks we've recently added. Now at the moment we've got 4 different tables that you can add to your website. So once you've found a table you'd like to use, so I'm going to add this top one here, just click and drag it onto the page as per usual. Now all of these tables already come pre-filled with some data that we've just filled in as examples of how you could use them, but as I said earlier, you can tweak all the data to show what you need it to. It's just a suggestion. So this one's almost like a gym timetable, so it's been filled out with different courses and different times. Now in terms of editing the data that's already in there, it's simply a case of just clicking and then you can type a new title at the top for each heading. And the same with the actual data in the table. Adding rows to your table is simply a case of, if you just hover over the table, there's a plus button at the top here that says add row. If you click that, additional rows will be added, and it will come with pre-filled example data, but the same as before, you can just delete this and amend as you need. Now in terms of changing the amount of columns that your table has, you can change that by accessing the block settings for the table. So if you just hover to the right, click on block settings, and then you want to click on the content tab. Now here you've got all various aspects that you can enable and disable for a table. So if, for example, I needed another column, I just click column 8, show column 8, and then another one will appear. And then you've got an option, a final option of column 9, which will be buttons if you wanted to, and then you could set up links to those buttons. And the opposite is, if you needed less columns, you could just simply start deselecting the toggles. So you've got an option of up to 9 different columns there, including an initial one that could be a heading that you could have here. Turn that on, and again you could have headings here to change, so you don't have to have that. And you can have an introduction heading and a pre-heading to the block as well if you wanted. So it's just simply a case of turning these on and off here, and then when you're happy, you've got what you need, just click done, and then you can go back to amending the data. Now if there are any rows that you no longer want, you can just hover over the row, and then there'll be a bin icon on the left. Just simply click this and that will delete the row. It will ask you if you're sure you want to do this, so you can't accidentally do it. And then if there was a row that you added some data and then later on you needed to move, you can simply hover over the row you need to move, and then on the right is a drag row. I click and hold on that, and then you can move it around. So moving the data within the table is also very easy. In terms of changing the appearance of the block, so it will come in a default state that we've decided, but you can actually tweak the block further. So when you're hovering over your block, your table block, at the top you've got table settings and add row. If you click table settings, and then you've got the first option here is sticky column heading. So if you happen to have a table that's got a lot of data in it, this might be quite useful because it will keep the heading of the table visible whilst the visitor is viewing scrolling down through your table. And I'll show you how that looks now. So if I turn that on and click done, if you watch this heading here, as I scroll down the page, you can see it sticks at the top. So if you have a really long table, that would be really useful to keep the headings there so that the viewer can see what the data refers to. And then back into table settings, got table padding. So if you wanted to add a bit more spacing around the table, you could just simply turn that on. Then table style, got a range of different styles here. By default, this one comes as solid, but you can click through and look at how these change the appearance of the table. It might suit your needs more for the style of your site. So we've got a border, which will remove the colouring from behind the data and just leave the heading section to have a colour and then a border around. And then you've got thick border. As you can see, sticks a border around it. Double border around the table. We have translucent, shadow, and then none. So depending on your colours that you've selected for your website, it will change. How it will look will differ depending on those selected colours. But have a click through and see which ones sort of suit what you need. And then for the column heading style, you can also change how that appears. So at the moment that's solid. You could have an accent color, so make it stand out. Have it to match the same, or just have no heading at all for the column heading. Again, so you've got options. And then for the row style, you can change how this will look. So if this one's quite nice with stripes, so it makes it alternate there, so it might make it a little bit easier to see the data. Or you can have it bordered like that. And if you select border horizontal, it will just remove all the vertical lines, so you only have the horizontal lines in the table. Again, various options there that you can tweak the table to suit the needs of the data you're putting in there and what you prefer visually. So once you've found the style that you like, it's just a case of clicking done. So when it comes to the tables, we actually have 4 to choose from, which are all slightly different and can be used for different purposes. So we've got these 2 here, which are ideal for if you need to display different classes, like the yoga classes that are set up in this example, or if you need to be very specific. This second timetable's got days of the week with very specific times. So if your website's for a venue and you wanted to show specific time slots that different events are happening for each day of the week, this would be ideal. Then we have the opening hours table, which you could use to put on your website to show the hours of your shop. If you have a physical shop, or if you're a restaurant, you could use this table to show the hours of service that you run. You can edit this data to be as specific as you need. So this is just an example that we've put in here. And then lastly, we've got the package time table, which we've used to suggest if you offered a service and you had different tiers to this service, you could show and specify which features are included in which package. In this example, we've put ticks in the boxes, but you can delete these ticks and you can put in any data you want. You can put in words, you can put in numbers, whatever you need it to show. So if you have any questions about these tables, as always, just get in touch with your account manager and they'll be happy to help you further. Thanks for watching.